Hello class. I wanted to take a look at our next assignment for MCE 3063 phonics. It's not due until April 21st, but with Easter break coming up, these next 4 weeks are really going to go by quickly, so I wanted to make you aware of this now. You are going to design a word sort or word hunt or word activity of some kind for a specific word study category, and then you're also going to teach that to the class, and then create a Pinterest board to gather resources about that topic. So that's a very brief overview. Basically, effective word study creates an interest in words through investigation, exploration of a word feature. So word sorts, where students are categorizing words based on what they notice about them. Word hunts, where students are looking for those features in the natural world around them. And other various activities support students in creating meaningful connections to words. They begin to realize that language is a very powerful tool. And so you're going to use one of these ideas, a word sort, word hunt, or some very hands-on activity that will help us as a class discover a word feature from one of the 3 word categories below. So you're going to refer to your text, and you're either going to teach from the category of within word patterns, syllables and affixes, or derivational relations. So you're going to determine, after you choose your category, you're going to decide on a principle. So for example, I'm going to go over here. If you look at our module for this week, after you watch this video, you've got this link, and it asks you to follow the link to sign up for your category and preferred topic. So if you follow that link, you'll see this board here. Let me line this up a little better. And you can see that the due date for all these, it used to be spread out across the semester when the class was larger. Since this is such a small class, we are going to do this together on one day. So everyone is presenting on April 21st. And you are going to, I shared an editable link with you, so you're just simply going to type your name wherever you want to present. So on whatever topic you want to present. So if you're interested in within word patterns and the long vowel CV, I'm sorry, that's written wrong. Long vowel CVCE pattern, or complex consonants, then you would sign up for one of these, and you would just type your name and make sure you know which category you're teaching. So you can see I even highlighted so you know if I sign up on number 2, then that means I'm wanting to teach about complex consonants. If you're interested in syllables and affixes, then you can choose from long vowel stressed syllables, R-controlled vowels, other syllable doubling, or doubling the E and dropping, doubling. So you're noticing that where you sign up goes straight across. So if you're deciding that syllables and affixes are what you want to teach on, then you're going to decide. So again, you're just going down, and I apologize if the recording's a little weird. I had to fix it a couple times. But you go through, and if you want to pick a derivational relations topic, then these are the topics you have to choose from. Silent and sounded consonants, Greek prefixes, vowel changes. Knowing that if I type my name here, the corresponding line is the topic I am teaching on. And I highlighted them because for some of these lines, they didn't quite match up. One person is teaching one topic. And there are plenty of topics. There's more than 4. There's 4 of you in the class, and there's more than 4 topics available total. So whenever you sign up, remember the date's the same for everybody. Everyone's presenting on April 21st. But you're choosing a specific category and then word feature. So the category's here. The word feature you'll be teaching is here, and that is determined by where you type your name. This is also linked on Moodle. So as we move through and we've now selected what we're going to be teaching, I want you to plan a lesson for one of the word study principles you selected in that category. And you're going to be teaching this like you're the teacher and we are your students. So you're going to design, let me go ahead and bring this up a bit. Either a word sort, an open sort, a closed sort, a sound pattern observation, a blind sort, writing sorts, speed sorts, concept sorts, a word hunt. You decide what this is going to look like. And our text in the early chapters really breaks down what each of these sorts look like. And make it challenging. You're going to teach this to the class and you cannot take longer than 15 minutes. We have 4 people to present in an hour, so really aim to keep your lesson about 10 to 12 minutes. But I also want you to not just teach us the lesson, I'd like us to have a little time to look at each other's Pinterest boards as well. On class those days, you're going to teach the lesson to our whole class as if you're the teacher and your classmates are students. And you are going to really think about this assignment in 2 parts, the lesson plan part and the Pinterest account part. So I'm going to go ahead and switch views real quick because I created this little Powtoon slideshow that I think kind of summarizes for you what the expectations of this assignment are. Okay, so you may think this is overkill, but I've been told in the past that my explanations of this assignment were very hard to follow. So I've also supplied this in an informational slide format. So like I said before, think of this assignment as a 2-parter. First, you're going to be planning a word study lesson. And second, you're going to be creating a word Pinterest board about the topic that you selected for your lesson. So why word study? I think we know by now it's very effective and creates an interest in words. It's a powerful tool to help students discover more about words. This is for ECE, so I'm going to skip through that. But essentially, you're going to design a word sort, hunt, or some type of activity around a word feature from the category you chose to demonstrate to us in class. You can use your textbook to gain an understanding of your category. So let's say you chose the CVC with the silent E pattern from the within word category. Then you're going to go to the chapter about within word patterns and learn about that particular feature inside that category. There are other resources available to you as well. One of them being online on our Moodle course. You're not creating the formal MVNU lesson plan. You are using a slightly different format. It's called the Teach, Apply, Share format. So you are the teacher, the classmates are your students. We're not going to be rotating in stations since our class is so small. We're all going to just listen to each other one time. And I want you to find a way to incorporate the word study notebook into your assessment. You're going to turn your lesson into Moodle, but you're going to post your Pinterest board in our shared form. So if you go to our steps, here's the assignment link. When you follow the link, you'll find the submission for your lesson plan. But you're going to share the link to your Pinterest board here so that it's public and we can all follow one another and grow our understanding. The lesson plan and the Pinterest board need to be posted before class on April 21st. So let's look at the rubric. If you go to the submission section on Moodle, you will find a rubric. This assignment is worth 50 points. And I need to scroll over all the way so you can see 25 points here. So as you begin to work on your lesson plan, what I want you to do is notice that you are to have sources, the textbook and other sources referenced in your Teach, Apply, Share lesson plan. The difference between full 25 points and a 20-point response is that here you used at least one other source in addition to the textbook, but here you're using sources, multiple. You need to meet the time limit, have your paper, that paper means your lesson plan, turned into Moodle on time with the Teach, Apply, Share format. Your content needs to be very well developed and accurate. Again, a difference here between these 2 columns is that the content was mostly developed and accurate. Your activity needs to be engaging and suit the objective of the lesson. Here you have an activity that aligns to the objective, but maybe it's not as engaging as it could be. Your word study notebook needs to be used for both categories to be met, otherwise that's an additional deduction of points. You need to also have clear examples chosen for your word sort or word hunt activity. Whatever activity you do, you need to have several words chosen to demonstrate that category. And then your materials need to be well prepared and ready for use. The difference again between these two categories is the word engaging. Are they engaging and encouraging active thought and discovery amongst the students? If you look at this sample teach, apply, share format, again, your teaching time should only be in the classroom. The regular classroom setting would be 5 to 10 minutes. For the purposes of this assignment, you're going to keep it shorter. You're going to keep it closer to 5 minutes so that you can meet every component in a timely manner. This is something you can download and fill in with formatting to your particular needs. So here we have materials, chart paper, markers, and word cards for sorting is what was needed for this lesson. And the main principle, your principle for the lesson should be able to be summarized in one concise, student-friendly sentence. And the principle says, some words have consonant letters that are silent. If you think back, a couple weeks ago, we explored a PowerPoint that had several examples of word study lessons, and they followed this teach, apply, share format. So this mini lesson, you're going to it could go something like this. 1, I'm going to show you something interesting about words. Notice that this needs to be scripted. You need to have quality think-alouds planned because the language of word study does not come easily. To this day, I have to consider carefully what I'm trying to get students to notice about the feature and what language is going to best facilitate this understanding. And writing it out as an actual think-aloud is very beneficial. Another thing to remember is while this is not your long-form lesson plan, you still need to make each step clear enough and concise enough that a sub could quickly and easily follow your plan. So I'll let you explore this example on your own. And I want you to note that these time limits are the ones suggested if you were doing this in an actual classroom setting. However, since we have 4 presentations on one day, I want you to keep your teach section to 5 minutes, your application to about 5 minutes. That should not read 7 days, should be about 5 minutes, and the share time 2 to 3. So applying, after you've explicitly taught your feature, then you're going to give us a chance to apply them. And this would be a great way for you to incorporate the word study notebook into your lesson. And then lastly would be a share time. This is where students have the opportunity to share as a whole group and partner pairs in silent written response in their word study notebook about what they learned. It's a reflection and a wrap-up opportunity. So you could put the word study notebook requirement either in the apply section or the share section, or both. It's up to you and how much you want to use that. So again, download this from Moodle under the assignment section and tailor this to your specific features needs. Also make sure to include your name. Last year, some people didn't include their name or resources. You need to add a resource section to the end, and you need to add your name. Okay? The second component of this is the Pinterest section. And so I'm going to create a separate video to further drive home the fact, it'll be a shorter video, that this assignment needs to be considered in 2 parts. So stay tuned.